not too much of a care. Everybody knows they got their job to do, and we do it. And all good together.
Yeah, that's great though when family works together like that.
And an old age thing.
Yeah. Have you learned anything new about the family? Have you guys heard any great stories since you've been here this year?
No, actually, I had to work yesterday, so I didn't get here till late.
Did you grow up right around here, or?
No, I was born and raised in Zanesville, Ohio. I got eight brothers and sisters. There's 9 of us all together. And I live in Chesterhill, Ohio now.
Oh.
And I got a sister who lives out Chesterhill, and a couple, a brother and a sister lives in there. I got one deceased brother. He was 44. Then I got 2 sisters in Zanesville. And then I got an older brother in a rest home in Zanesville. And I got a brother in Cambridge.
Did the flights go off?
Yeah, Chesterhill. So you're familiar with MGC then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't run into you before. You probably know some of my family also then.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know David, my brother? David Butcher?
I know some butchers, but I don't know.
Okay. Who do you know?
Todd Butcher, Earl Butcher, a lot of butchers from Zanesville.
Oh, from Zanesville. Yeah. My grandfather's brother had a line of butchers that lived in Zanesville. Yeah.
See, now that's how his family reunion is. It stems. I don't know. Did you see the tree yesterday? Did they have a copy of the tree? Well, anyways, like way back, there was 7 kids. Okay, and each kid branched out and had all these. You know what I mean? So actually, some of us are married or are on in the same family, but only in. I mean, like ions or neons, cousins away. You know what I mean? But we all hook up. We can all, all get. So.
That's what I love about genealogy is that you can go and you find all these connections and you become one big and bigger family.
Yeah.
And that's really important to see where you come from and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's a very peaceful spirit here. So.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It gets kind of rowdy at night, but how kids are. We look forward to that. So. That's about all, unless you want to.
Well, tell me what was life like growing up. You grew up in Chesterhill, you said, or you
no,
just live
Zanesville.
there now? Oh, you just in Zanesville.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
We went to the Lett family reunion a couple weeks ago.
Lett.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know some Letts. Harry Lett and Bobby Lett.
What was life like growing up in Zanesville?
Oh, it was wonderful. We lived over behind the stadium, and it kept us pretty busy. Working at the stadium and football season, we'd work in the concession stand and stuff. It's pretty neat.
Football was a big thing in Zanesville.
Oh yeah, still is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you get to go back there very often? You said you have siblings there also.
Zanesville? Yeah, I go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You saw the MGC restoring that house in Chesterhill too.
Yeah, right there. I live right there. Right.
Oh.
You know where the gray house is? Right next across. There's an empty lot, and then that's where I live.
Oh, okay. I used to hear stories about the library there. It used to be the cinema.
Yeah. There still is on the upstairs. There still is a auditorium and where they can show a picture show.
They used to talk about there would be color nights and you go up and watch the the movies and stuff and different socials and stuff there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Chesterhill used to be pretty big, and there was a hardware and a feed mill and 2 or 3 gas stations, and now it's down to 2 stores, 2 stores, 1 gas station. So.
There's so much history there, though. It's such a rich history. I think, didn't Martin Luther King come through there one time, too? I think there's a picture of him in Chesterhill at the Quaker Meeting House.
It might have.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of rich history there. Yeah, and the Quakers, and the Underground Railroad. And,
yeah.
Do you do any of your genealogy, or?
No, just through here, Of course, then my mom, she was a Needham. She come from Parkersburg, West Virginia, and they have a Needham's reunion the last Saturday this month, and it's a pretty good size.
Oh, are they still around Parkersburg area, or some of them in Ohio also?
Most of them in Ohio, yeah.
Okay, Needham.
Needham.
How do you spell that?
Needham. Needham.
Oh, okay. Needham. I don't think I've heard that name yet. So what are some of your family names that are in your family? So Needham.
Needham, Hills, Mills, Crostons, we're all in it.
My aunt's married to a hill. Zelma Hill.
Delma Hill.
Zelma.
Zelma.
She used to be Zelma Butcher. Now she's Zelma Hill.
Now, where was you raised up at?
I was raised in Athens.
Athens.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Who would be some good people to talk to get some of the history of your family?
Did you talk to, you mean the Needham's family or the Stevens family?
Either.
Well, I have one aunt still living in Zanesville. Her name's Emily, Aunt Emily, and she's about 80 years old, and she's still got good memory and everything. She could help you with the Needham side of the family, my mother's side. Then, actually, I got two. Gladys, she's young. She was the youngest, and the rest of them, my mom, and the rest of them have died. So.
And where's your mother buried?
In Zanesville.
Buried in Zanesville.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my father's buried in Zanesville.
Mm-hmm. What were the names of your parents?
Ethel Stevens and Willis and Ethel Stevens. And my grandpa, Theodore, Dad was the only kid they had. He was the only one.
It's. I think it was much harder to conceive too. Then I heard a lot of stories that we would do in cemetery records, and I cannot believe how many babies died. It was much harder then.
Harder time, especially babies born in the winter, and stuff.
Yeah. Can you say your name again, just because I think I got
Larry Stevens Sr.
So what part did you have in organizing the reunion?
Oh, just getting it together and stuff. I cooked breakfast this morning for everybody. It helped.
It looked so good. I was so sad we had to run off.
Yeah.
It looks really yummy. I said, oh, they have pancakes, everything. My favorite.
Yeah, fresh blueberry pancakes and maple syrup. We had her done up right today.
Yeah, this was just great.
There's not much to organizing it. I mean, it's about basically the same thing every year. Everybody knows what they're going to do, and we do it. It's done.
So that's great, though. Some families you can't get people to work and get together and do it. You're very fortunate to have such a good family. So
there's my older brother over there. Oh, no, he done took off.
Oh, he took off?
Yeah, Teddy.
I'll have to catch him.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm sure I'll probably see you again somewhere.
Yeah.
And then they might put together a documentary just of this reunion, just for your family members. And then there later might be a documentary. We've been going to a lot of different reunions.
Whenever you're ready. You ready?
I forgot your last name too. Is it
Stevens?
Oh,
yeah.
it is. Okay. I'm Erica Butcher, and I'm interviewing Larry Stevens at what's the campground here?
Camp Hervida.
Camp Hervida.
Hervida.
In Waterford.
Waterford, Ohio.
Ohio. Okay. For the African American Presence in Ohio River Valley Oral History Project. And Larry's your first name. You don't have a nickname.
It's Larry Eugene Stevens.
Larry Eugene Stevens. Okay. And you said you now live in Chesterhill, but you grew up in Zanesville. In Zanesville, Ohio. Can you tell me some stories about growing up in Zanesville? I've heard that there are a lot of Stevens. Someone was just telling me, it might have been your brother, about how there were great aunts and uncles on every corner around.
Oh yeah.
So that how you grew up also?
Either on my mother's side or father's side, there's quite a few Stevens.
Yeah. Did you graduate from Lancaster schools then also?
No, I graduated from Morgan High School.
Oh, so you moved to.
Well, I was living in Akron with my mother, and my sister had already had 8 kids, and she wanted someone to stay with her. Of Because she's getting ready to have another, and her husband worked nights, so I come and stayed with her.
That's your older sister?
My oldest sister,
And
yes.
what's her name?
Gloria Mail.
Gloria Male. Oh, okay. So she married a male.
Yeah, she married Robert L. Mail.
Okay. Okay. And you're married also now?
Yeah, I've been married. Be 38 years in August.
Oh, wow, that's great. And what's your wife's name?
Vonda. Her maiden name was Croston. Vonda Croston.
Oh, okay. I knew some Crostons. They lived around where I lived in Athens. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about how you met your wife and?
Well, I met her. Well, I've known her all my life, you know, because my mother-in-law and my brother-in-law are brothers and sisters. That's how, you know. So.
Okay. What are some of your memories of what it was like with your brothers and sisters and things that you did in Zanesville? Or
Well, we had fun. I mean, you know, sleigh ride in the wintertime. Kids don't know how to play nowadays, you know, go outside and play. We played ball about every day in the summer and played football. We'd get a team together and play, you know, the surrounding, you know, neighborhoods, you know, like, well, there was a place called up on Putman Hill. There was a team from there, and then there was a team out, you know, over in the 8th Ward. We played them, you know, just different things.
there were quite a few black families of color in Zanesville. What was it like? Did you feel like you had a big community there of people, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Was there a strong? What kind of support systems did you have? Were there places that people tended to go? People of color
Yeah, we
tended
had
to go.
the community center, and then there was a skating rink and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we had our football games and stuff, you know. In Zanesville, I never knew no racial barrier, you know what I mean? Just everything, you know, people seemed like everybody got along, you know.
Were the neighborhoods pretty segregated, or were they pretty integrated?
Integrated, mostly.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What were some of the other black family names that you, or families of color that you knew that lived in that time?
Well,
I know a lot of people moved out.
It was Clarks and Mitchells and Norrises and Normans, Workmans, Meanses, you know, I worked with all these people. There was Daltons and Youngs, and, you know, all sorts.
What year did you graduate?
1967.
From Zanesville or
Morgan.
Morgan Heights. Okay.
1967.
After you graduated, what did you do? Did you go into the services? Or anything
No,
like
I
that,
went to Zanesville and went to work with my dad. He worked for the city of Zanesville. I worked on the city, and then from there I went to Akron, and then I moved back down here. And then I worked at Taylor Woodcraft in Malta for 22 years, and it went out of business. So now I've had 2 or 3 jobs since then, but I've been over at Anchor Hocking in Lancaster for 7 years.
So you commute to Lancaster? Well, that's not
Yeah,
too far.
it's 65 miles.
Kind
Yeah.
of a commute, isn't it?
One way, yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about what was some of the first stories that, or you know, when you're young and you start hearing stories about older relatives? Can you tell me some of the memories of some of the stories you heard, maybe of some of your older relatives or people maybe aren't with us now?
Nah, I mean, you know, seemed like we always was happy. We was always laughing family, you know, telling jokes, you know, amongst, you know, but they're all kind of good memories, I guess, you know, but, you know, I just can't pinpoint one of them because there's so many of them, you know. I just trying to think.
Was there like a favorite story that one of your parents or an aunt or uncle loved to tell about somebody? one of your parents, something that they did that was funny, or?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this one. There's my uncle on my mom's side. They had 15 kids, you know, and Uncle Gerald, he liked to drink a little bit, so he come in one night and Martin was setting the table, you know, and he said, Michael, Michael, but it was Martin. So Martin didn't answer him. So Uncle Gerald got up and smacked him on top. He says, boy, he says, when I call your name, you answer me. So he said, it went on, and then he said, a couple more weeks went by, and he come back, and he said, Michael, same guy, Martin. It was Martin, but he said, Michael, Michael. And Martin remembered what he done last time. He said, well, what do you want, Dad? And he says, he got up and he said, damn it, boy, you ain't Michael.
Not today, huh? Did you guys play any pranks on each other when you were younger? Did you remember doing anything like that? You said everybody had a good sense of humor.
Oh, yeah, we played pranks on each other, just childish things, I guess, Can't remember none offhand, but, we did.
So wasn't any time you got your brothers and sisters really good?
Oh, one time, my brother was just here. We was coming home from school, and he bought this thing that hooked over his finger, or under his finger, and it looked like a nail was through his finger. And he went running up to the house, and my sister was in there, and he was crying, and acted like he was crying and hollering. Boy, my sister come out there, and she was always a nervous type anyways. And boy, I tell you, when she found out he was just playing a prank, she wore him out.
That would have been horrible.
Mm-hmm.
A nail through the... How many of your siblings came today? Which ones came?
Teddy Stevens, and then Sharon Mail. Then yesterday, Starla, my youngest, and my oldest sister was here yesterday, which I didn't get to see. Well, I seen Starla last night, but I didn't get my oldest sister that went home. Oh. She's 72 or 3 years old, maybe just turning 70.
What's one thing you hope the younger generation gets out of this reunion?
That we're all family, and that we all need to stay in touch with each other, and we all need to know each other, and this is one, where you can see how many people was here yesterday. Was you here yesterday?
I was at another reunion, actually. Oh. Yeah.
There was quite a few. Was you here yesterday? There was quite a few people here yesterday.
Mm-hmm. I think you guys had more fun here. I wish I was here.
Did y'all stay for the limbo and all that last? Okay. So we had a pretty good time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you like music?
Yeah.
I heard there was a lot of dancing and music last night.
Yeah, there was music and dancing. Mm-hmm.
What are some of your songs you remember growing up that you really enjoyed?
I like the old Motown music, and I'm really a country and western fan. I love that's my favorite music, but I like Motown. But I don't like rap or anything today's music. I don't.
Was there some songs that you just really thought spoke to you about a different period of your life that you can think of?
Oh, about all of George Jones. I love George Jones. I mean, he just sings, different songs and about different periods of time. But there's always some song. Okay, buddy, you have a good one. Okay. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah. And how many children do you have? You have children with your wife?
Yeah, I have 3 children and 8 grandkids.
Oh, what are your children's names?
Larry Jr. and Leslie Shireen and Lauren Daniel.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And your kids grew up in Chesterhill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Are they still living around the area? Or?
Yeah. Well, my one son, he just moved to Columbus, and then my son, one son lives behind me, and then my daughter lives over Malta, Ohio.
Mm-hmm. What are some things that you and your family did with your kids when they were younger in Chesterhill? What was life like for them? What are some things that you share with them as a family, or you used to bring them to the reunions? Yeah,
bring them to the reunion when they was young, the fairs, and took them, different places. Been to Disney World a couple times, and Virginia, Busch Gardens. We just went down there couple weeks ago. So.
Did you always try to make sure that they knew who the family was and visit? Was that part of Were there certain family members that you
Yeah.
really have always tried to keep in touch with, some older relatives? Or?
Yeah, on my mom's side, I had a couple uncles that didn't have no kids, and we all visited them and stuff like that.
Yeah. What were their names?
Wallace and Donald Needham.
Okay. And the mother's side. Were there any things that they told you, that things about the family they didn't want to get? They would tell you stories about things that they didn't want people to forget, or to make sure that was passed down. I know we have, in this area, we have a long tradition of oral histories and telling people stories.
There's one thing my mom said the night before she died. She says, never stop sitting down at the table and eating dinner, the whole family at once. And I've always tried to carry that tradition out, I think, it means a lot.
Yeah, that's nice. And today, such a big group of family, that has to be really... And I hear you cook too. You said you cook some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What's your specialties?
I can cook about anything.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not a good baker, but anything I can cook.
What did you cook today?
Oh, I made gravy this morning and fried bacon. That's just, made potatoes. I mean, anything. I can do that.
What types of things did you guys eat growing up? What were some of your favorite things?
Had a lot of starchy stuff. When you got 9 kids in the family, it takes, you got to eat a lot of potatoes and beans and bread and stuff, back in them days, But my mom was a wonderful cook too, boy. She could, make anything out of something, you know what I mean? She could really do it, or something out of nothing,
How did that work, dinner time with 9 kids?
Well, we wasn't all home at once. I mean, there's a pretty good spread between us, but on Thanksgiving and stuff, we'd all be there. It all worked out pretty good.
Yeah. When you were younger, did you each have like responsibilities at dinner time, things you did? Or did
Oh,
your
yeah,
mom
we
take care of everything?
we done dishes. Mom always done the cooking, but we done dishes and, mopped and done, what we could, to help out, because Mom worked out.
And is your mother still living?
No, Dad and Mom's died.
When did your parents pass away?
Mom's been going, Makisha's 17 years, and Dad's been going 16 years.
And they're both buried in Zanesville, you said?
Both buried in Zanesville.
Yeah.
Of course, Grandma and Grandpa there.
Did you spend a lot of time, you said your mother's family is from Parkersburg, did you spend a lot of time in Parkersburg visiting?
Well, once I come along, they'd all moved around here. Grandma Needham, she lived down the street from us, and my uncles lived. See, my one uncle was deaf. He lived with Grandma up until she died, and then Uncle Wallace, he lived right down the street from us.
So that was in
Zanesville.
In Zanesville. Okay. They did a lot of them move because your mother was in Zanesville. Did they move to Zanesville to be near her?
My grandmother?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, or I think Grandma and them moved to Zanesville when Mom and them was kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So your mother grew up in Zanesville, not Parkersburg.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, so there's quite a bit of Needhams also in Zanesville.
No.
No?
Yeah, well, there's my one aunt, and and then my Aunt Helen, she was 90, or she just passed away, and she was married to McEwen, okay. Then there's quite a few of them live around Zanesville. Most of my cousins stuff live in Columbus now, around Columbus and Zanesville. And Aunt Gladys, she had 2 daughters. She had 3 daughters, one that died when she was about 8 or so. I don't know how old she was, but then she's got 2 daughters, got some kids. They live in Zanesville.
Is there like a what are some of your, did your mom used to talk about like her growing up and stuff, and what her life was like? Did she tell you stories about that?
Yeah, she said they had a pretty rough life, but most people did back in them days, But,
what time period?
Yeah, she'd always tell. See, when Dad was growing up, he lived right behind Mom, and Dad was the only child. Come Christmas time, he was getting everything, and Mom maybe all she'd get maybe a hanky and orange. She don't remember telling, you know, talking about that. So,
How many children were in her family, her mother's?
I think 6, maybe 7 or 8. A couple of them junior, and there's one called Ralph. I think they died when they was, you know, pretty young.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, a lot of those hard times for kids.
yeah.
Really, they didn't know all the things they know now.
Grandma Needham always tell me about the gypsies. They say gypsies coming through, you know, they be hiding their stuff and what little bit they had, you know.
What were some of the stories she used to tell about the gypsies?
All about them, you know, you had to watch them, you know, they, you know, steal from you and stuff like that, and they'll swindle you, you know, grandma was, you know. So I'll tell you a little story about grandma once. My Uncle Bub, now he's dead now, he was married to Gladys, and grandma lived down on Wall Street at the time. She had an outside privy, you know, and Uncle Bub went there and said he's heard someone yell. Grandma was kind of a big lady. He heard someone yelling, and her grandma was out there in that privy, and the seat had broke, and she couldn't. She didn't fall clear, but it just went down enough where she couldn't get up out of it, because she had one bad arm, and you know, and old too. So Uncle Bub, he said he didn't know what to do. He said he went out there and pulled her up out. I remember us laughing about that, man. So,
What was her first name? Your grandma Neaton?
Needham, Maud.
Meadham? Maud.
Maud.
Okay.
And my
Maud.
grandpa's name was Ralph.
Ralph. Ralph and Meadham.
Yeah.
Wow. And what about your grandfather? Did you ever hear stories about him?
My grandpa Ralph, he died before I was born.
Or before you were born? Did your grandma remarry?
No, never
She
did.
never did.
Then on my father's side, my grandma, she was a Hall, I think, yeah, and she died when she was before I was born. I think my Leroy, my brother, he's about 60. I think she died right about the time he was born. You know. But he remarried. He remarried Lola Tabler. So.
My grandmother was a tabler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Did your family attend religious services or anything? Was that a big part of family life, or it wasn't?
Yeah, grandma and them, you know, they went to church and stuff. We went when I was young. They make us go and stuff.
What church did you guys attend in Zanesville? What was the church that your family?
Pentecostal. Reverend McDonald was his name.
Okay. But a lot of the relatives go to that church, or?
Yeah, and a lot of people around in the neighborhood went.
I'm just wondering because sometimes churches keep a lot of family records.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Murdy Jackson, she lived up the street from us. And she went. She was an elderly lady, but Murdy and Chance Jackson. So.
Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah. Are there any stories that you'd really like some of the younger family members to know about the family, or some things that you want to pass on to them?
Well, I know, the most of us who's running this right now are getting older, and we just hope that some of the young kids that get interested in taking over and keeping it going, We don't want it for them to take it over and it'll be fizzled out in a couple years. We want to keep it. Seem like every year we get stronger and stronger. We send out newsletters and keep everybody posted of what's going on and stuff like that. And
How long, do you know the history of the reunion, or how many years it's been going
boy,
on?
no, I don't. Turk could probably tell you. I can remember when they didn't have it here. I remember they had it up there in the field, but I was really young then, so I can just barely remember that.
Yeah. Has anybody traced your family back to slavery and where your family was coming from, or?
Yeah, I think it was, but I couldn't, I could tell you. I couldn't you know, it seemed like my grandpa or my dad told me that his great. No, I don't want to say that because I was a slave, but I don't want to say that because I don't know for sure. But it seems like my dad said that. But you know, you'd have to ask one of these older people. You know.
What did he say? Then we can look it up. We're pulling a lot of different records trying
Said
to.
that she that our the far back as far as we could go, we figured that the woman was a slave.
So it was like a great grandmother was the person who
Yeah,
was
or
the slave.
great, according to how far,
And was she married maybe to like she was married to someone who wasn't a slave? Possibly.
Yeah, maybe so. Stevens, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Did you ever, growing up, because especially even Chesterhill, did you ever hear stories about Underground Railroad or anything like that when you were growing up in the area?
No, I've heard stories, but I don't know. But you know, over in McConnellsville, they got that underneath the Opera House. Have you ever been over there?
I'd like to go.
They have I think it goes down to the river, or they say, I don't know. I've never been in there, but I've heard people talk about that.
Yeah. I know, like, your family, like a lot of families are here, and my family too. It's really, you have a like very diverse background, things like that. What are some of the ancestry that you have in your family, like that? You have Irish, or do you know what some of the
No, I don't.
what the descendants are? Yeah, I know a lot of people in this area have Irish, Scott,
Yeah.
Native American, certain tribes.
Yeah. I don't think I'm Indian, but I don't.
Yeah.
I'm really not a good person, man, because I really don't. I've never, I love life, and whatever color you are, you're that color. It don't matter to me.
Yeah. Yeah. True. All right, I think that's pretty much some that we might. Have you ever heard of Poke Patch or Payne's Crossing? Ever heard of that? No. Oh, that's what some of the places are researching. Some of the settlements, or the Let settlement. You knew some Lets probably.
Yeah, Harry and Bobby Lett, and I know their mom, and then I know Ruby Lett, but I can't remember her mom's name. But she's dead.
I don't think I asked you when you were born.
1949.
Okay. And that was in
February.
February in
Zanesville.
In Zanesville. Okay. At the hospital there in Zanesville, or at home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bethesda Hospital.
Okay. All right. I think between I think we got it. So your mother's family is from Parkersburg, so that was pretty recent to Ohio. But your father's family, when did they come to Ohio? Where they coming from?
Well, I don't know. They've lived down here, Waterford, for years. Come out of here, but I don't know when they come to Ohio. No.
Okay. This was there's a big area here that was the Stevens farm. Did he grow up here on the Stevens farm, or?
Well, Dad growed up in Fultonham out there. Grandpa had a farm out there. That's where my dad.
Okay.
Fultonham, Ohio.
Fultonham, Ohio. Okay.
Out by White Cottage, there, outside of Zanesville.
Okay. What type of farmers were they? What type? Did they have animals or?
No,
vegetables?
Grandpa just raised a garden and stuff like that, but they didn't have too much.
Wasn't
A few
like
chickens, but they didn't have no big farm.
Wasn't like a big, huge working farm. Okay. Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Larry.